Hi, this is just a review of functions. We covered it a while ago. It's just to refresh your memory to help you with the assignment today. So first we're going to talk about relations. A relation is an input with an output. It can be showed by ordered pairs or a mapping diagram. It's usually worded X is related to Y. A function is a relation that pairs each input with exactly one output. So in other words, the domain or the X value cannot repeat. So if you have an X value, it can only go to one thing in the Y value. The range or the Y value can repeat. That doesn't matter. It's only the X value or the domain that we're worried about to determine if things are functions or not. A function rule is an equation that describes the relationship between inputs, which are the independent variables, and the outputs. So if you're looking at this little chart thing, the input is -2. The function rule is y equals 3 times x. So if we put -2 into it, we say 3 times -2, we come out with -6. So our input's -2, our output's -6. We can represent functions with four different ways. You can do it as an equation, a table, a mapping diagram, or a graph. So if we look at the equation y equals x plus 2, if we were to input the -1, we would say the output is -1 plus 2, which is +1. If we put 0 in, we would say 0 plus 2 is 2. So for everything that we're inputting into the equation, we come out with an output right here. And it works the same with the mapping diagram or with the graph. So let's look at the graph. If we have this same equation, y equals x plus 2, then we cross the y-axis at 2, and then our x value rises 1 and runs 1. That's the slope of the line. A linear function is a function whose graph is a non-vertical line, a function that has a constant rate of change, which means it has a slope, and it is a line. So if we're looking at this line, our slope would be, we would go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, all the way through. So it's a constant rate of change. It changes, it stays the same the whole way through the line. A nonlinear function is a function that does not have a constant rate of change, but whose graph is not a line. So if we're looking at this, our x values still we only use the x values once, but instead of forming a straight line, it forms this curved line. All x to the odd power equations look something like this. Graphs can show the relationship between quantities without using specific numbers on an axis. If we're looking at this graph, the y value is talking about the distance and the x value is the time. So if we're looking at this, as time is increasing, the distance is increasing. And then right here, as time goes by, so the time is still going up, distance is staying the same, so it's staying constant, it's not changing. And then as time still goes on, the distance is decreasing. So before I close, just a side note that graphs of lines, y equals mx plus b, can also be written in function notation. That would be f of x equals mx plus b. You would do them the same way. You would graph them the same way. You would plug in numbers the same way to create the tables. It's just a different type of notation. I hope this helps you remember how to do functions. Good luck on your assignment on Sage Formative today.